2020. Welcome. We are at the May 28th, 2025 Mattacheese Utilization Committee meeting. All town and school boards, committees, commissions, and authorities shall post a notice at every meeting at least 48 hours prior to such meeting, excluding Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays. Notice shall contain a listing of topics, agendas that the chair reasonably anticipates will be discussed at the meeting. All times listed are approximate. We posted on May 23rd, 25 at 2:28 p.m. the agenda with Zoom meeting information for alternate public access. Our first is call to order, and we are calling the meeting to order, and we would have a roll call. John, would we also include your last name, please?
John Anderson here.
Andrew Laird here.
Barbara Lavoie here.
Sharon Weimer here. Since the committee is made up of 7 members and 4 of us are here, we have a quorum. I think Roby was going to come. She's a non-voting member, so we may see Roby coming in shortly. First of all, I'd like to find out if we have any public comment. What's the red thing?
Hit attendees, Barbara?
Attendees?
Right.
Do I need to invite these guys?
So just hit attendees. You have Tom Nicanello.
All right, and Tom usually doesn't have any comments, but we're welcome Tom's comments if he would so like to do.
There's no, if I may, there's no hand up in the waiting room. So,
All right, thank you very much, Bill.
thanks.
The first order of business will be review of the select board presentation that will be occurring on June 3rd in front of the select board. And the main purpose of our meeting today. And I'd like to find out everybody's opinion as we go. And perhaps if we could go through page by page just quickly. And if Andrew, would you mind just jotting down any kind of questions or changes or suggestions? Anything? So that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you. The first page is one in which there is an obvious extra member listed. That was the original member, but we have since had a resignation by him, and we have a new member listed. So we would probably need to take that one out of the presentation.
If
And
I
he is
may,
the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th person down.
if I may, the presentation is in the shared document, which is accessible by the computer in your room. You can just slide it up as you talk about each slide.
Oh, all right. Or you can edit it out as we talk
Well,
about each.
I don't think you can edit it, but at least the public.
Oh, I thought you said edit, sorry.
Slide it, yeah.
So we want to show it to anybody
Right.
catching up with us.
Publicly show it now prior to our presentation.
Did you suggest that we wanted to do this as we're going along?
It's up to you. It's just that as you're talking about it, if anybody's watching, you can look at it. It's up to you. It's in the sent to you.
Not
Okay,
until the time of presentation.
okay,
I
we'll do this. Does anybody else have a problem? Or with Barbara's exception?
I don't care. We can talk about it. It's nice to have it up, because then you can see it. Go through it instead of.
John, how do you feel?
I mean, I think it's just sharing the screen. I don't think it's, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know where his presentation is.
I think he just said in, oops.
So it's right there. So if you go back to Zoom, Barbara.
If you scroll up on the shared document, it'll be there.
Yeah.
You want to hit share?
Where's, that,
Top in the middle.
I'm sharing the other document and show this one.
Share.
Hit share at the bottom. Yep, and then just click that and hit share at the bottom.
You want to use the agenda packet, which has a presentation in it. You don't want to do that.
What do we want to do here?
Hit stop.
Unshare that and go back to the document which had your agenda. And then scroll up on that document and the presentation is right after the agenda.
So power, hit close PowerPoint.
All right, well, it wants to see this log, it wants me to log in.
No,
You don't want that. You want to close. Hit close PowerPoint.
Close this?
Yep.
The only option is to close PowerPoint.
Nope, don't click on that.
you want to close PowerPoint right now and you want to just, you want to open the document that's we call it binder 1. And then
All right, so I'm gonna close this binder 1, this,
Now just scroll down. There you go. And now go back to go back to Zoom.
all right, use it in this way, all right, present it in this way.
Sorry to have done this to you.
Yeah.
At the last moment. I was not aware.
Good job.
So we have the original member that needs to be released from this document because we do have Casey Schmidt now listed.
So Ian Kelly needs to be
Speaker,
removed.
yes.
all right.
So
So that's a
that
note.
would be one thing that I would want changed. Okay, going to page 2 is the select board charge. And it is highlighted, which I think is nice. We don't have any problems with that, correct?
Nope.
And what we're doing is going through the whole document to see if we agree about everything. And then we can come back to who would like to speak about it, all right? The third page is the layers and players.
And just lowering, turning out the volume.
Okay, thanks.
Again, I was taken by surprise here.
Yes, I know you
Yes.
were, so I apologize to you. So, John, what do you feel about this page? And anything that you find,
I'm fine with page 2.
well, we're now layers and players. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Is that?
Full page, yep.
3?
Slide 3.
Yeah, okay. And how about Andrew?
I'm good. Page 4 is good.
Uh, um, Part of this for me, and I'm just going to do a general conversation, is that this presentation is also prior to introducing the consultant and undoubtedly their reference to the survey. And I just would like to know, would you like anything in here that even with this great approach that was created, that maybe we didn't hear about all of the suggestions and ideas of small groups or more individualistic, and that therefore we worked with the BSC group and who was very good about including some of those ideas. Is that something that we do or don't agree to, or? That was the one thing that kicked me, in terms of this. I think it's a great page as it is, but I just didn't know if we wanted to add anything to talk about the upcoming survey, but we don't have to. I wanted it. To
Wouldn't
have
that be-
discussion about it.
Heather's gonna present after us,
Correct.
when she introduces that information.
Well, I don't know that she knows that information. I think we're the only ones that
About
may
the
know
survey?
that. Well, she knows about the survey because she put it together, but just the fact that maybe there are things in the survey that just don't cover what's been provided through the teams. So in other words, I don't know where, for instance, I don't know where aquatic came from, the aquatic individual thing. I assume it was put in because there's an interest somewhere that was done. And so, I mean, I'm okay with it being in too. I'm okay with the pool being in too, even though that wasn't, suggested. So all I'm saying is that we can just leave it because it's just a presentation before the board, but if we wanted to be sensitive to the survey and why there are a few things that aren't mentioned in our team's reports was because we also wanted to give credence to some additional ideas. That's all. So you can have a quick discussion, or we can just move on if you'd like.
Well, what would you like to change?
Well, I would just add something. I wouldn't change anything about what's there. Layers and players is fine. And all of that is well done. I don't have any problem with that. It's just the missing piece for me about how we got some things into the survey.
Then let's add a sentence.
Well, if we need to, I'd like to hear from Andrew and John,
I don't have any problems with the way it's laid out right now, just to,
just to present it.
right. I think it'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, like pools certainly was mentioned at, CEDC's first meeting. I think it was shot down pretty quickly, but
Right.
it definitely was mentioned. Yeah, I think if anything, that goes in the next step slide with if you want to make an additional comment on the survey going out, and, you can make a comment of like input from teams, MUC committee, consultant, et cetera, or something. I don't, yeah.
All right, so we're all fine. I mean, majority is fine with page 3. I call that page 3, layers and players. So moving on to 4.
Okay.
This is from January. I'm sorry, these are the things that were presented in January, I believe. Let's see. Prior building assessments, new building assessment. Yeah, this is what we presented at the select board meeting in January, so I don't find a problem with that. Does anybody else?
No,
All good.
All right, page 5. Anyone have any comment about this?
Nope.
nope.
I think they've
nope.
seen it. They've seen it all. Right.
So, okay, so. And 6. Page 6 is the chart with housing, recreation, economic, tourism, education, open space, water supply, and municipal services. So it's certainly a good chart to talk about that. I think that other people were involved, and it wasn't just, there were several committees that might have been joining together to finally talk. So I'm fine with that. The funnel is, everyone's seen the funnel.
Sure.
7 is teams muck around, brainstorming generally. Anyone have any comment or concerns about this?
I don't.
No. Okay. 8 is muck around, brainstorming generally. We have recreation here and open space, education. And what is being listed is our ideas, number of ideas, and the last page was economic development, housing, municipal. So, showing a total of 64 ideas from knowledgeable committees specializing in each character. So we're all set with that one as well?
Okay, so we're blessing 8.
Yeah. There is a bit of information in regards to the grant money of $8,000 that was added to our budget. Well, not to our budget, but that was used by the housing, and actually additionally given to being used by the economic development team, and I think a little bit by the no, it wasn't the recreation. The chamber, I guess. Yep. Any other talks and the caveat? Did you all read the caveat? And everything all right with 8?
9.
You're talking 9 or?
Well, I just finished 8, so yes, now it's 9. Do you, this is the reconciliation. This is the three ideas page.
I think we're off. I think the confusion here is we're off. So,
Page.
you're off a page from what is in the presentation. That's why we're confused.
Well, 7 is muck around brainstorming generally. Do we agree on that? I know we're not showing that right at the moment.
So that's what I'm trying to say, Madam Chair. Barbara, if you scroll up.
Barbara, if you scroll up,
What you're saying is 7. One more, Barbara.
One more?
one more up.
What you're saying is 7. It's listed as 8 on the presentation that's being shown, and we're looking. I'm just.
No, I'm just saying what page I named it. That's just 7. We've already been through
Okay,
this.
I'm just saying, we're not seeing page numbers. That's my point.
No, I know, but,
Okay.
okay, I didn't know how else to identify it other than, I
The
guess I,
PDF is identifying page numbers, so that's why when you're saying 7 and we're on 8.
Right.
Right.
which one is identifying page number?
So if you look at the presentation Bill gave us copies of,
Oh, I wasn't. I
Yeah.
was looking at my own that I copied. I'm
you
sorry.
could just do
Yeah.
slide number,
All right.
just to make sure we're all looking at the thing.
So it would put us
Well,
back.
I don't, you keep yours. Fine. Well, anyway, you tell me the number. So now as far as I'm concerned, we're on Teams reconciliation, 3 ideas.
Yep.
Is that,
So we're good with, yep, okay.
we said we're good, I believe, with 8, well, with the prior one. Teams muck around brainstorming generally.
Yep.
Now, Teams reconciliation, 3 ideas.
Page 10, 11. They incorporate all of the groups, 10 and 11.
Can't just read the title?
Teams reconciliation, 3 ideas,
Yeah. that's-
covers 2 pages, 10 and 11 of this PDF.
Well.
Want me to start on page 10 for the first group?
He submitted a different page. When in terms of our. So that's the other problem. And that's the next page.
So if we look at slide 10, right, which is the first Teams reconciliation, 3 ideas,
Correct.
right?
But he gave us a.
Yeah, but we're not there yet.
Correct.
That's slide 12. He gave us
Right,
the-
so the one that is the Teams reconciliation, the first part, the 3 ideas that covers recreation, open space, and education. Are you okay with that one?
Well, the one you just had, number 9,
Okay, so that's-
teams muck around.
That's page 11 then. The 3 ideas, recreation, open space, and education.
Correct.
I'm fine with both slides for reconciliation.
I'll agree. I mean, teams reconciliation, 3 ideas, fine with me.
Yep.
Yeah, they're both fine with me.
All right. So we've now gotten through number 11.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Then we go into teams, the one proposal on 2 levels, and as you can see, original one that was sent to us was not complete, so Bill has given us a copy of that in our packet somewhere. Here it is. And I'm gonna just take a moment to read it, because I haven't seen it.
Got it.
Economic development, how's that read for you, John? You were on that liaison group,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
okay? And Barbara, how about housing?
Housing looks good too.
Okay. And municipal correctly states that it ended at brainstorming, so we're okay with that too.
Right.
That's correct.
Yep.
And that was what? Yes, and he'll be updating that because he's handed it to us, so. um, I don't think we're gonna, well, we could say it in our motion with updated levels. Slide 12 was updated at this time, and we vote to accept that.
And he will update that in the PowerPoint presentation and then the PDF it.
Right.
Okay.
So, so we're all done with that. The next one is the one proposal on 2 levels, and that would be slide 13. And is everybody okay with that?
I am.
Yep.
All right. And the next one is MUC accomplishments to date, January to May. And Bill did explain before you came that the video isn't posted yet. He had anticipated it, but he wants to change or add a last sentence to the video. So that's why it's not posted yet.
Okay, but for the sake of the
Presentation,
presentation, it will
it will
be
be
posted
posted.
prior to then.
Right. John and Andrew, you okay with this, or do you have any comments?
I think I'm good.
What's your hesitation?
No, I'm just reading it through one more time.
Yeah. I will say that, does it say here about the consultant having posted?
I guess the only thing I might
Yeah.
change is worked the last bullet point,
Mhm.
like worked with the consultant on community survey and public outreach. Like that's going out, right? So by the time we have the meeting, that'll,
Well,
Third,
right?
Right, but this is really a statement of what our accomplishments to date
May.
are, and we're reporting to the select board.
But if I read the last bullet point, I would assume that the survey is still being worked on
Oh,
and not ready.
I see.
I guess that's my point.
So-
Right.
So that,
So we want
I
to,
think it's just the wording. I think
yeah,
a
that we want to add.
survey has been,
Yeah.
has been developed, approved. I mean, I guess we have to vote on it probably tonight, right?
yeah, we probably should.
That we approve the survey to go out.
Mhm.
Um,
so if we approve it, then we should
yeah,
change
then we
this.
can just change it.
Okay, so we
I
need,
think, to me, that reads as like it's still being worked on.
right,
And that might generate questions from the select board of like, hey, when's it going out? When's it gonna be finished? Type thing.
right. So we want to say worked, start with worked. With
Well-
consultant and approved.
Community survey.
Yeah.
The survey and discussing continuing public outreach.
Is the
That's
public
fine.
outreach the July 15th meeting?
No, it's their memo that they sent to us with their first meeting with us about the survey. So they had a whole memo in terms of what their public outreach was going to be. Again, public outreach for me might be additional things that we as a committee do, which is why I would probably want to kind of say that, because we talked about
Rotary,
Joe to do something,
yeah.
maybe you want to do something.
So,
So,
right, so to that point, I would suggest we break these two things up. And basically say like, the survey's been completed, approved to be sent out by the MUC committee.
okay,
And then discuss, started, that's maybe where it says began working on public outreach
okay,
for next steps.
yeah.
So we have a bullet called public outreach.
Yeah,
Underneath that. The
So,
survey.
well,
They're just in,
began,
if I'm understanding what public outreach is, I think that's in a very different step where we're
Right.
at with that versus the survey.
I would agree with you, Joe.
So I think we need to separate it.
So we're gonna have two, we're gonna recommend that it be changed to have two bullets. One saying worked with consultant and approved for, and approved a community survey for distribution.
Yep.
All right. And then the next one. Next bullet would began discussing public outreach.
I mean, you could just say began working on public outreach for next phase after teams.
Yeah,
I think you can use the same wording.
right,
All right, because I'm confused. I would think public outreach encompasses working with the consultant and approving the survey. So I would think public outreach would be a bullet and then sub-bullets of consultant, survey approval and distribution.
We've
Well, what
approved
we're
the,
really talking about, because the survey is public outreach, so
Right.
we've already used that.
Yeah,
So we want to do additional public,
Yeah.
possible different, additional public outreach.
so you want to word it,
Not in their memo, but maybe we want to go to Shaw's and, say, hey, there's a survey going on, would love to have your ideas, or, whatever it might be. We haven't had that discussion.
so perhaps working with the consultant to develop other
Additional,
public outreach venues.
okay. Is that acceptable?
Well-
And John?
yeah, I think Barbara's actually got a good call out there that maybe it is,
Here's our.
public outreach, and then it's a sub bullet of the survey, a sub bullet of
The additional
additional
Yeah.
work to be completed.
sub-bullet of the
Yeah.
consultant.
Yeah.
So we're doing one bullet with,
Public outreach. And underneath those, like the web page is the main bullet,
right,
and then underneath that, we would have the additional working with the consultant,
and
the survey,
approved, and
distribution,
survey,
and other ideas,
okay,
whatever those
Yeah.
ideas incorporate.
okay.
Yeah, I just think, I think that's a good call, but then you want to separate it and say, this is this is what's been completed. This is what's
Still on the
Yeah.
board.
still on, to be determined.
How are you doing, Andrew?
Working with consultant to develop and approve. I'm right there, potential outreach.
Additional, or just
Addition-
additional?
Yeah, additional
Additional.
public outreach. I think that's fine. And then if they ask, we can go into, rotary,
Right.
Whatever.
Okay.
I actually, has anybody seen the completed new estimate of the demolition costs just out of curiosity?
When you say new, are you just saying the first one that was posted, or are you implying that there's a second
Well,
one?
that sounds like there was a second estimate. I just wanted to get clarification. Is it the estimate that we have been going with from the get-go?
That's what I'm,
It's not,
Yeah.
so it's
I
not really,
As far as I know.
It's to 3 million. is
Yeah,
what I understand. Has that changed?
no, that's what I'm clarifying, because it's, when the word new says,
Maybe you could just replace the word new with updated
yeah,
or whatever,
or even remove it.
yeah. Yeah,
So we got that part of
Yeah,
it
so
too.
just cross out the word new.
Yep.
Would be good.
So we would eliminate that word.
And do we want to put the figure in that line, like 3 million, just for public reference?
Uh,
A lot of people probably don't go to the website. and
Well, they can ask us,
Yeah.
and then we could talk about it, and it's a point in time. So if
Exactly.
we go to put 3 million and,
Yeah,
it votes,
got it.
it goes up to 3.5.
So
yeah,
that's exactly what Bill was saying about the video.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to put all kinds of disclaimers.
Do that. The other thing, just in terms of conversation about it, is that in our survey, they did put, when a building gets taken down, there's a 21E law that requires the removal of hazardous waste. So that's why I wanted to be sure that was included, that particular word, but it's only at the point for sure, that's a very definite thing in the 20E, all sorts of other things, but. So, are we done with that page?
I think so.
We all set?
Yep.
So. The buck budget. Yeah.
words of wisdom.
So if, from what I could see from this, is that the already expended for the base map, the building assessment, and the demolition report has been $32,000. What's encumbered is the BSC contract of 65, the BSC contingency of 16.5, and the project contingency of 10. And that, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't get that balance. Let me see. 165 plus 16.5 plus 10 plus 15, which really was the balance.
Yeah.
75, 85.
I think that ties up.
Huh, it does?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm doing it in my head, but it looks close. So I think it would.
I thought the interesting thing was that if the contingencies are not used, the 16 and 10, that's 26.5. There would be additional money, but we're assuming that there may be things that may be going on. But if I added 165
That's right.
plus that. I was looking for the difference, what's left. And I just did.
26, 5, 27, 28.
Pardon?
It'll be 28. 16, 5, 10 plus 15, right?
165, 16, 10, right? Can't believe it's taking me this long. That's 191.5, is that correct? Is that what you guys get?
I didn't use my calculator.
That's all right.
The numbers are right.
I trusted him.
Yeah, so I was only adding the last three to come up with any, because you were talking about any contingencies.
Right,
And I added that 26.5 plus the balance
right.
of 15, so that's 28. You can back into that number and then subtract it from the 225 to get, it all ties out.
Yep.
So we're all set with this.
Mhm.
And then there is the reference to the 8,000 outside the budget, which was grant.
Seems crazy.
So we'll see how by the end, and this is the original 225 that was voted back in 22 or 23 and maybe 23. So whatever's left might be able to be rolled over to the new amount that was approved at this past meeting. I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
What's the finance guy say? To get rolled over? Or does it go back into general fund?
It's rolled over for quite a while.
Okay, good. All right.
Till it stays there for muck until it's
Marcus,
transferred through
Town meeting.
and town manager or,
Okay.
yeah. And typically it would go to something, it would not go to general fund, it would go
Okay.
to another department or
Okay, good.
that would need, X amount of the fund.
There are some other costs that we know of that haven't happened yet. So that maybe could be something that's encumbered too, because there's suggestions again for amount at a certain point of time,
Yep.
like in terms of hazardous waste. And so we'll
Yeah,
see.
but that 225 is there.
Yeah, it could be all gone. Yeah. So the next one is update objectives. Any kind of.
Works for me.
Let's talk about timing. Is that okay?
Timing's good. I think existing knowledge.
Something we used.
Yep.
Good with that.
Public outreach. Team meetings, they're referencing just the team meetings. Were publicly posted and on Zoom. Now, here it says, next step, conduct community survey. Certainly, we need to do that, but based on our change before, is there any linkage in terms of the wordage, or are we okay with that?
I'm okay. Pretty much sums up what we had already talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Makes work for me. Next steps.
Next steps, the last page. Does anyone have concern? I'm gonna ask this because it's in here. We establish and implement public process with consultant. To the length of the survey based on the time of year. We are in competition with spring, with people coming out of their houses and doing things, and do you think it's,
I personally didn't think it was that long, myself. And secondly, those folks that are interested in filling that out will, regardless of what time of year it is, I think will fill it out. And the more we promote the link to the survey and things like that, if it's important to someone, They'll-
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Plus, we're coming into a season that anybody that's remote coming back to the Cape has
That's
that
right, that's
opportunity.
right. Yep.
They're not being held back on it, involving themselves. Right? And if they get enough contacts, whether it be emails or outreach of some sort, it's
And the
on them
sur-
to involve themselves. I mean, I think our job is really just to get this out there so they are aware. It's their job to get involved. That's what I feel, you know,
Yes, I think you're right.
the horse to water thing, you
We're
know?
gonna tell them,
Yes,
and if they don't participate,
that's our responsibility.
right,
Yeah,
And I think we'll do our job.
John?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have any concerns. I think for the scale of the project, I think to Barbara's point, I think it's a very reasonable amount of time to complete, so.
So we've gone through. You can tell me. What it is we'd like to do by vote.
Okay, let's go back through it.
Just, can we go back to next steps?
Yeah.
So, to our point earlier on bullet point 3, I think it should just say implement survey with consultant. Right, we've already established it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Um,
input.
It's finalized? Is it? Officially?
once we vote,
Okay,
I'm just thinking this is next week,
okay.
provided we approve it tonight.
I'm gonna say that makes sense. Implement survey.
Implemented, right, implemented. Survey with consultant,
Implement survey, that sounds good.
or created survey with consultant.
I'd say implement. That's me.
I think implement's fun,
Not past tense.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
because I think it's ongoing, right? Because
Yeah, I do.
we're given X amount of time for it to be completed.
Just I may just a heads up, the survey is completed and I'll be posting it tomorrow on your webpage, and then we work with communications on sort of getting the word out.
Okay, so we approve it tonight.
Do we need
Yeah.
to vote on that?
I would, because then you're all copacetic on it,
Mhm.
and there's no debate or whatever. And then the actual presentation with the updated slide, Barbara, is on that computer.
Okay.
So how you want to do that? I mean, I don't know many changes you had, but it's
It's a
there
handful.
if you want to give it to us after you're done.
I attempted to log into it, but it
Oh,
won't.
that's right. I'm sorry that one doesn't have PowerPoint.
So what we were gonna do is have Andrew read the changes
All right.
and have them written down so that we all agree. And then vote on that.
Okay, great.
And give you the.
Yeah, if you give me the changes, I'll get you the PowerPoint, then I'll send it back out and just like, Barbara, whoever else, Sharon, and just confirm, that they're copacetic, then
Okay.
I'll have it.
Are you expecting us to edit?
No. I've listened in, so if you give me good enough notes,
Mhm.
then if Barbara, you want to work with me, we can change it and have a PowerPoint and give it to Bob and it goes up on the screen.
Sure.
So that way we don't have to go back and forth between the two types of software.
Okay, sounds good.
All right?
All right. Should we work backwards? Because we just finished.
Yep.
I'll get you good notes.
No, that's all right.
Okay, so on muck next steps, we're gonna remove on bullet point 3. We're gonna take out establish and just leave in implement survey with consultant. That's my note.
Okay. I agree with that.
Okay,
John?
I agree.
okay.
So that's,
On page 14, muck accomplishments to date, January to May.
Actually, Andrew, can I just go back to next steps? Maybe not do that with, we've already established connection with our consultant. So, when we will also want to just implement public process with consultant. We haven't.
Have we established all those?
I don't know, you're right. I would, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't think we've established
Right.
all those touch points.
So we should keep it established and implement.
I think
I
so.
think so.
Okay, all right, that's.
It keeps it open. So
Yep.
we could say Rotary,
Right.
disposal areas, post it there. So, we
Okay.
can come up with a bunch of
Sounds good.
the golf course, bulletin boards, at town hall, whatever.
Okay,
Just enough to where, again, we're making sure people know about. it. That's what I see.
Yep.
Okay, so we're good on that one. We all said yes to the change.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next,
we're going to page 14, muck accomplishments to date,
okay, slide 14, yeah.
slide 14. Yeah.
And what are we doing there?
We are coming down, for the fourth bullet down, completed estimate of demolition costs. We're taking out new.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then we're dropping down to the last bullet. And we're gonna say, worked with consultant on approved community survey. And leave it at that.
Didn't we talk about approving this? So.
On approved, I put it in past tense, approved community survey,
Oh, you did say.
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry.
on approved community survey. So that we're jumping ahead, but we're gonna approve it tonight and then we're going to past tense. Then another bullet is being added. Just,
That's my confusion. Are we talking about Barbara's suggestion of putting? Or is this the
yes,
wrong
the
place?
adding the bullet for the public outreach.
exactly. So the last bullet on this slide, we're gonna take out began working and put worked with. And then we're gonna add another bullet, a new bullet below that, saying working with consultant to develop approved additions for public outreach.
Okay with everybody?
I'm good. Yes.
The next, Andrew?
Then we have to add on slide 12, we're going to incorporate the revised updated slide that was included in our packet from Bill.
Okay.
Bill already has that information.
Right, so I'm just making sure that it's noted.
Right.
And then, let's see. We have clean slate. That's it.
I think it's just, slide 2.
Slide
To
2.
remove and.
Oh, that's right. Remove
Design.
Ian Kelly.
And add Casey. See in there.
Casey's in here.
He's already there. I was just,
That's it. So we agree on that as well.
Yep.
Yes,
so that was it?
Yep,
that's it.
Okay. So,
We'll get these to Bill.
so we want to take a vote. So I would need a motion, and I guess I'm gonna take the motion from Andrew. If you
Yes,
would.
yes, I make a motion to approve the slides as corrected and agreed upon.
second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
So we're not gonna specifically say it, what they are.
What they are?
Yeah,
Uh,
motion,
okay, good.
Can
I'll
say
go back
as
through.
approved.
as
Hi,
approved.
everybody. Sorry, this
Yeah.
is Robin. I've been listening.
Hi, Roby. Yes, it's-
I think, I think Roby's right. I think you can say.
Yeah, you can just say as amended.
As
That's
amended.
great.
As amended,
Okay.
okay. All right,
Okay. As amended.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Hi.
Anybody, well, Roby, you can't vote,
My apologies. I take it back.
right?
Aye, aye.
We love your opinion, don't get me wrong. Um, Okay, so that was approved.
Yes.
So now we need to go back. By the way, Roby, glad you're here because I want to talk to you about what you sent as an email. Don't want to leave this yet, because now I want to know who wants to participate. How do you, hand this out for people talking? Does anybody want to talk about any particular slide, or how do you want to do this? So we can decide, again, going through everything, if there's interest on anybody's part to speak.
Well, there are only 17 slides, and I think you have I'm gonna volunteer you. Everybody can,
Second.
you can disagree. But I think.
All
you-
in favor?
Yeah, very good grasp of,
Yeah.
first of all, what's going on with all the teams and the groups,
Right,
the presentation.
Well-
And you have a very nice voice for speaking, so I would recommend you.
so there's no one here that would like to read anything or suggest anything. I know you could be asked as liaisons, in other words, John, I'm also thinking I want to get your applications. Because the cards I had you fill out the other meeting, some of you are very humble. And if I'm going to introduce you, I'd like to take a look at your applications when you applied for the position. Because I don't feel I have a good grasp of some of the things that you folks have done and accomplished. So, I'd just like to be able to say something about each of you. And have you present, if you can be there. I think Joe is the only one I know that can't come. And I don't know yet about, I think Casey said he could, and I think, Lindsay said she could come to the select board meeting. So usually what they do is have the whole committee sit up front,
Yes.
in terms of
First one.
behind the table.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, I will be sitting with, the consultant. And at some point when we're finished, I want to talk to Roby, because I'm not finished yet in terms of, including Roby. And introduce the consultant where they would then talk about the survey, I'm sure, and also their public outreach. So John, do you want to say anything?
I believe, it should come from the chair.
Okay. Andrew?
I would say that if you get stuck,
Yep,
then you just tap somebody in.
okay.
Within the team,
Team.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
and I agree with John, since you're.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, in the big scheme of things, it's a pretty short,
yeah, right,
presentation,
Mhm.
right? So I think if you have multiple people speaking, you're gonna take away from the actual presentation. And,
all right,
Agreed.
I think, FinCom, I think
CIP.
CIP, they've, what I've seen has always been the chair
Yeah.
presenting, and I think
all right.
it works out well that way.
Yeah, I will do that then. Now, the next is question. And, we've done limited, stuff about the team. Have asked different members. Bill, did you have a?
Just quickly, the one thing that I think from a public outreach perspective, you have a pretty robust webpage. There's all the studies like housing production plan. So I think what I think I failed to do in the presentation is really hone in on that. So maybe a little coverage on that, maybe one of the members or whatever can go, use all the things that are up there, because as people look at this, they'll look at the survey, but they won't see all that stuff there. So I mean, there's all the teams reports, there's the HPP, there's an open space plan, there's a recreation plan. So somehow getting in there, I know the webpage is mentioned, but a bit of longer discussion about it, whether or not you break that discussion up amongst
Can
yourselves.
you add a link in the presentation to?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Okay,
All right, then I'll put a webpage link. I can't guarantee that it's gonna, I mean, if we didn't have PowerPoint tonight, so. But yeah, I mean, what we can do is potentially, I call them thunder slides. We use them at town meetings sometimes. Some people might ask a question, so we have the presentation ready. Is maybe the last one has a snapshot of the page and maybe a list of everything that's there. So if people want to go into it, you can go to that last slide after the presentation, say, yeah, here's what's on it.
Right?
That's a good idea.
Website created is on slide
Yeah.
5. So
So, I
you
mean-
could do it right there, or you could do it later, because there's another time.
Yeah, I mean, but you can understand that, I mean, out of all the committees in 6 months, that's a lot of stuff there, and it's really, you're collecting it from the HPP went through a public process, the open space plan, public process, the vision stuff, public process. So all that's just up there, the stuff that's up there is your foundation, which is all public domain in one place now. But I mean, and I think that's part of your, as they do the survey, we're hoping that they're going to have read some of that stuff.
Well, if you
Yeah.
want to put a slide together of what exactly is up there.
Sure, I'll try to,
Might be better at
Well, we can have a-
accomplishments to date.
well, what we can do is there are titles in the page, like related documents.
Right.
Under those titles, or just put one sentence. What does that mean? All prior plans, teams reports, you know, 5 teams reports, 64 ideas, stuff like that. And then maybe we can put that in as a slide. I'll put it in, you guys decide to.
Will you still do the snapshot of the web page?
Yeah, I can do that. And what you do is on that snapshot, it becomes a link.
Got it.
So if you want to really go to it.
Yeah.
you
And as
can.
a safety, you know, we could just have multiple pages open, and just, you know.
Yeah.
Go to the taskbar.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty is the Wi-Fi, it sometimes gets spotty and so, but when I create that page for you with just the titles of the page and a sentence of what each of those titles mean, like, you know, teams reports and all those things, then we'll have that after the slide in which you discuss the web page. All right,
Mhm.
because that's a big public issue is if they're doing a survey, let's get them to read the
Right.
some of the stuff.
Educated.
Yes, thank you.
All right, I'll get that slide. You guys decide which slide to put it into.
Okay.
And we're recording it anyway, so I mean, take notes, but I can pick it up from
All right.
the discussion.
So do we need to vote on that, adding that extra slide?
Yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to add the slide that he's gonna build of the screenshot of the website to add additional comments of how to, you know, obtain the information generated from all these committees.
So once we've reviewed the status to date, slide 6 will actually be a picture of the website. For clarification.
Well,
I personally think it should end on it. That's a landing page at the very end to say, this is how, so if anybody's there or is watching, they'll know that they could log on to that, go to the town website, click on Mattacheese utilization, and you'll see all this content, and that slide will, they'll take a mental picture.
Can you add a note to your notes to add the URL? The URL is visible.
the thing about number slide, what is that? Accomplishments to date, January. It indicates web page with considerable number of ideas and information. Then it says completed new detailed building assessment. But, you know, we've also have asbestos, we have, you know, it's whatever we want to add.
Yeah, so
Could be there.
I would make a recommendation of. I think you leave slide 14 as is, right?
Mhm.
You can comment just with the bullet points that are there, right?
Yeah,
And then I think after muck up, to Andrew's point, after muck update objectives. So I would make the web page slide, the new slide 17,
okay,
right? And then
So slide 15,
17.
new slide would.
So it'd be
be
this, it'd be the, be
Next
the
steps.
second to last slide,
Okay,
right?
Right,
Because I think the way you kind of phrase it is, so if you go to slide 16, the public outreach next steps is the survey, right? And the system, and then you can go in and slide talking about the survey right into the web page, right? Of saying, hey, here's all this information, right? To your point, you know, if you want to talk about the building assessment, the demo cost, the
Yeah.
asbestos, the whatever, right? Every team meeting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we really hope that residents will take a look at this webpage prior to completing the survey.
okay, so slide 17, let's call it slide 17 now,
Yep.
and the new, next step, slide 18.
Mhm.
But that we put for slide 17, is that the page we're gonna copy that we, of all the items that we have?
Yes,
Is that the URL that, or,
I think it's a picture of the webpage
Mhm.
yeah,
with the link at the bottom.
I understand what you're saying, but from an instructional perspective, if I were in the classroom, which I've been,
Mhm.
yeah,
I would actually have the webpage, introduction to the webpage up further. Because that's when you're mentioning it, that's when you're identifying it, that's where you want to show them. And then keep the bottom part, the same, so.
when you say the bottom part, are you just
yes,
concerned
keep-
about?
Keep 17, so, I would say either on slide 5. Or,
Well, all he's doing about the number, just to
Yeah.
clarify, is he's just changing that number to 18, because it would be the last page,
yeah,
that's
yes,
all.
yes, I
yeah.
understand what you're
Okay,
saying, but
all right.
you're gonna, personally, if I were a student in the class, I'd be confused. Because you talked about it up here, you identified it, its importance, and then we're gonna go down 10 slides and show it to you.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense from a learning perspective.
So where are we explaining it?
I would either do it on page 5, the website created, and,
Slide 5.
or the other page where it's been identified,
Slide 14.
slide 14.
Yeah.
So, you could either identify it on 14 would probably be a better location than 17. Because this is where you're identifying it, this is where you want to highlight it, this is where you want to, keep them attentive to that point. Especially since the website has so much important information
Mhm.
and so many pieces of information.
So, this is, if you read 14, it talks about the first bullet, the main bullet is webpage, and then video and other things that will be there, demolition, relevant study, the background and all that stuff. But then it goes to engaging multiple committees over 15 meetings to seek their knowledge and ideas. Teams generated 64 ideas in brainstorming, and that's where we also changed the language, worked with consultant and improved community survey. So do we want to make that a separate slide that separates that out and just do the web page here? And so in other words, accomplishments to date, January to May, will have 2 pages.
I like that idea, yeah. The one would be the website with its focus. You've got everybody's attention on the website, you're talking about the website, it's
Mhm.
there, you bring it up. If you can go, if the link works and we've got bandwidth and, we're live and we can kind of go through it. And then on the second page, so on page 15, a new page 15 would have.
Slide 15.
Well, 14 would be the web page.
14 would
Would
be after that. You would show the bill screenshot and talk,
everything that's related to the web page that we want to say.
comes after 14, after you talk about 14
No.
accomplishments to date. It is 14 now.
14. Page,
And then page 15 would be the rest, after the collected and posted relevant studies, would be the rest of the stuff that we've
Right.
accomplished. So it's like 2 pages of accomplishments. I don't know. How do you feel about that, guys?
I like that. I like that. You know, mock accomplishments, one, the webpage. It's really
It's
important.
a lot to,
you know,
Bill's just
Where
mentioned
our
how
survey
important
is
it
gonna
is.
be and.
Put it up.
And then,
And then the other things that we
No.
accomplished
would
would
become a
be a
new
new
slide
page.
50, yeah.
That's all.
And then
Okay, so I'm-
everything goes down.
Take a jump to tracks here a little bit. So you want to show the web page, then go into slide current 14. Is that what I'm
The
hearing?
rest of 14.
So the first half of current 14. Right, so the webpage bullet points with and a picture of the website would be a
Right.
slide upon itself. And then the next slide would be the remaining 4 bullet, or now 5 bullet points, I guess.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with that as well. I just, to me, the survey is the key to, the webpage is the key to the survey. Right, so we want as many people
I agree with that. You gotta drive them to
looking
educate
at the
themselves.
web page prior to taking the survey.
Which is what
So,
Barbara's suggestion is to make it important.
right, which is fine. So I would just call out that if you're gonna have a slide upon itself with just the web page, you've got to talk about the survey while you're talking about that. slide.
Absolutely right.
Even though it's not,
Yeah.
the word survey is not gonna be on that slide. I think it's key that you talk about the survey again on that slide.
And the
Well, it
nice
will be
thing,
listed.
yeah,
Is that what you mean, in terms of?
It's not gonna be listed.
no, I like what John is saying, you know, so you focus on that, you remind them that they're, and then on your page 2 of accomplishments, when it gets to the bullet that says, and we have a survey, folks, I just want you to know that we just talked about this on the webpage, so that's why the webpage is important. And so you've reinforced the survey twice.
Yeah, you've got to tie the web page with the survey.
Okay.
That's my only concern.
And the concern would be having 2 separate pages. Would that alleviate your concern, or are you still concerned? about
No,
placement?
I'm okay with the placement. If that's where we
Yeah.
agreed upon it, I'm just, literally the word survey won't be on that web page slide,
Right, and well,
right? So it's gotta be a mental note as the speaker that you've got to talk about the survey when you're on that slide.
yes,
Well-
but if we want, and I like what you're saying, because if we really want to emphasize that survey, we'll just add another bullet on the slide with the webpage that identifies the survey, just a bullet survey. And that.
Yeah,
really-
you could do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do that.
You know, so.
Because
so-
they completed a new detailed
So the
building
webpage
section,
part of.
but we've also replaced
Survey.
the
Yeah, we'll go through this. Okay, so from a note standpoint,
Yep,
where it says the first bullet, web page with a considerable number of ideas, information, you will then insert the web page right below that.
We'll have a picture of that below that.
Okay, so,
But,
so if Bill's got to add the web,
right, but we'll have
And
another
website.
bullet underneath collected that says survey.
add website screenshot under that, and then down here,
new slide.
We might want to flip flop them though. Because you're talking about the survey before you're saying you've completed the survey with the consultant. Right, so
Oh, right.
the slide,
So the first,
slide 14 might want to be the bottom 4
correct, I think you're right,
Mhm.
John.
bullet points, right?
Yeah.
And then slide 15 becomes the top webpage bullet points with a picture of the website in the survey.
somebody have a clean page. I have just closed up this thing so bad.
Yeah,
Well, no, I need to know, so we need to, no, it's not that, it's, so we can use. Okay,
so
actually, you diagram that, so we have your thought, because it seems like you're gonna,
okay, so
But I
this,
could not.
So the bottom four, right,
Mm-hmm,
will be slide 14. All right,
okay,
and then these webpage bullets will be slide 15 with
screenshots,
screenshot,
okay.
and then, yeah. And I think that makes more sense, I think, to
The
me.
rest of the numbers are all bumped.
Yeah, by one, yep.
I mean, if.
We're just
the-
creating a new
if-
slide.
If the
Yeah.
bandwidth works,
You could,
then we can go right to that website, you know, and say, this is where it is, but don't forget to, we need to have the URL written out anyhow as part of that.
In this slide 15,
the new 15, yeah.
For those.
add
that, you
URL.
know. And then when we get to slide 15, as John noted, we can just say, and just here's a visual, you know, which we just talked about on the website. And then move to slide 16, which are the remaining bullets.
No, we're just adding another slide 15.
Yeah,
Then we transition right back into the
so the
slide.
budget slide becomes slide 16.
Right,
Yep. So now we're up to 18 slides.
there we go.
So how do you feel about all that? We got that?
Yeah,
So we're gonna take a vote to add additional slide? Or separate?
I'll make a motion to add a slide. Break up slide 14, add 15 for web page
with a
as
screenshot.
amended.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second,
All-
we second.
All those amended, I mean, approved?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, it's passed. So we got that straightened out,
So we are not putting it at the end.
right?
Okay. I mean, as a
It's
talking
towards the
point.
end, but yeah, not the
Okay.
end.
Thank you. I mean, education.
I mean, the only other thing you could do is on next steps, you could add the survey link again.
I would, because it's important to us. So I probably add it there as well. That's a good idea.
Oh, put it in English,
So next steps, you add another bullet with the
I think
survey
you just,
link.
to me, you just add the link and then it's a comment and being like, don't, everybody watching, everybody listening, everybody attending, don't forget to take the survey and tell all your friends and family.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
so are we taking another vote on this? To just simply add a new bullet on number 18,
I'll move
Right.
it.
please take survey, something like that, and just do the URL again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I second that.
Okay, that was a motion, I guess.
Yeah, I said it. I'll
Okay.
move it.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
think we're done.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the agenda, and I hope you all heard me about that I'm looking your application. That's, if there's something in there that you really don't want to put out, let me know, I guess, or I may just email you on. Haven't quite decided that. I wanted to put something nice about you. Next is questions for teams.
Well, I'm gonna say ask Sharon. All right, it's a little humor.
Well, I don't think do you think he meant questions for teams at the presentation? Or
No.
you just, I don't think so.
No, I think he's asking if we have questions as a committee
Right,
for the teams based on their one
Yeah.
or two, I guess, proposals.
so, I was starting to say before that we ended up, as we went along, and that there was a brainstorming, we asked those that participated to make comments. but we didn't go in depth in terms of any of that.
What do you think?
I think that there's a lot of options you can have. You can develop 5 questions for each team and then send them to them and we'll get together and answer them. Or your liaisons meet with staff, you know, and they say, what do you mean by this? The idea is that you come back as a group and say, okay, this is what we believe the information contains. And also start to try to wind it down. There's a lot of stuff there. So the HPP, you know, there's some recommendations in there. There's probably a few related to your thing. So you may want to look at those and say, okay, these 5 out of the 20 are really related to us. So we should understand those. And by virtue of doing that, if you get questions asked, or as Heather and her team say, what do you want to do here? You'll have an understanding as a group. Because the difficulty is each of you might take each of this information and interpret it differently. That's a pretty big matrix for Heather to handle. So, and her group. So what you want to do is take a look at how as a group you would interpret housing, economic development, and the other open space and things like that. And then just discuss it. I mean, like when we're in CIP, somebody comes back from DPW and says, the truck is rusted. Okay, let's buy a new one. So somebody's asked the question and somebody conveys those answers to you. And then you make a decision on how you're going to interpret all that. This stuff actually went more because of, you know, the work of Barrett and Alexis. It went more detailed than, you know, the 3 steps would have taken. So I think you got a lot of good stuff there. The question is, you know, as you go through the public process, you want to be able to say, this is how we understand the information. Because the teams people might not be in all of your meetings, you know, and as you're interpreting the survey, how is you a group, you know, do you agree with this? Do you know, and so just go through each one of the teams and say, this is the way we look at this information.
Okay.
I think that's really all I'm saying is, and if it's questions to them that you all have, if it's meeting with them individually, because Andrew will tell you the liaison system works pretty well. You
Does.
come back from the water department with an understanding of PFAS, not totally, but more so than the other people in the committee.
They scared you to death.
Yeah, probably not the best topic. But I mean, when we've seen things like trucks and they're shiny and they do a great job of taking care of them, but then they show you, well, this one's rusted, this one has 170,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
You start to learn that it's not as pretty as the picture. So that's conveyed back to the committee and the committee votes. So how you separate out and talk to these groups, you have the information now, it's understanding, it's like a buffet. Do you really want to challenge yourself by going to that part of the buffet or, you know? So it's really a dialogue amongst yourselves
Okay.
after you learn more about. So look at the team's reports. And, you know, Mary Wagon is very, she understands the HPP, probably could quote it, you know, up and down. And Brittany with the open space plan. You may not have to go into the entire open space and rec plan, but there may be things in there that are directly related to here. It actually might mention this site in some of their plans, so we at least want to get that, you know, understood.
Bill, can I just ask
Yeah.
a clarifying question so I make sure I understand what you just
Yeah,
said? Basically, we're gonna take the team.
Yeah.
whether it Be housing, recreation.
yeah,
We're gonna take a look at their one idea that they've put up.
yeah,
And that's when we're gonna go back to the group, to whether it be housing or whatever.
Yeah.
Ask those clarifying questions
right.
so that we're aware of them. And then from there, of course, the whole committee then makes decisions accordingly.
Well, I think you want to look at it as not decisions, but findings. So what are your findings for each of the groups? Because decisions mean that you bypass the public process and you already made up your mind. You don't want to make up
Correct.
your mind, but you want to be prepared that as the public process rolls out, you can say, yeah, we thought that same thing about this idea. And here's why we achieved our findings. So it's maybe, you know, not a big document or anything. Your findings are that there's a clear need for affordable housing and that, you know, there may be some concerns about densities or whatever. That, I mean, the sports facility are outside the scale issue. It's locked up between two groups, you know.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be something that you can say, well, you know, that's not really a solid idea. So the findings are really that sports facility is it now, you know, to what extent? And what that does for Heather's group is it puts her in a position where she's saying, okay, we don't really have to go through every single team's report and take everything out and try to do a puzzle that you guys have talked about it and agreed to it. Because the hardest part about this sort of puzzle is if you're putting the pieces together, you want to put the 5 or so groups together as a group, that you're all on the same page with economic, you're all on the same page with this. Because otherwise it could be 5 times 7, you know, and you're debating as Heather's group is designing, which just eats into a contingency. You really, the contingency really is if the public says, we'd like this or that, it's for the redesign. You know, you want to eat that up in the public domain and not here. So it's just, you know, have you talked about all the different studies? Have you talked about the team's reports? And it's, you don't have to know the inherent details of it. You just have to say, yeah, we're on board with this, but not really, you know, how do you feel about the larger one? How do you feel about the smaller one? Things like that. And then as the public discusses it, you would already as a group thought about it. You know, that's really all it is. It's setting you up so that you can speak as a team, because if the public comes in and says, what do you think about this? And you got 3 different ideas on your committee or 3 different approaches, that's gonna fracture the dialogue. And then also with Heather's team, if you're on the same page saying, is it jobs? Because one of the things you could do out of this is the objectives, like the ripple impact associated with a sports facility is considerable. I just talked to the chamber director today, and she was at the Chamber Visitor Center. She said there was a huge amount of people going through the visitor center that are going to a soccer tournament
Uh-huh.
south of, you know, east of us. So we're missing that. So there's ideas in there that they all sort of connect, that's all. All right, so I mean, how you do that, whether it's 5 questions, whether it's just, you know, meaning, you just want to make sure that you look at Heather's schedule and you say, well, we don't want to learn this stuff after she started design, you want to learn it before. And you probably want to learn it before, and it helps that you get the survey before your public meeting, right? Because
Sure.
you can decide what to hone in on based on that survey.
Agreed.
So that's all that question thing is, so talk amongst yourselves, you know.
Yeah.
We should just have you stay here.
What?
So we should have you stay here.
Oh, well, I'd like to, but I gotta get this thing done, because I gotta get it to a consultant. It's the grant for you guys, it's so they can continue in more detail, the implementation phase, right zoning, design sewer, all that stuff.
Right, you tell us.
So that's due it's due on the 4th, so.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. How long is the survey gonna run to? I forget. 2 weeks?
I thought.
I thought-
2
No, they
It's
had
longer.
originally 3 weeks.
Yeah, I thought 3.
Making it a little bit longer, so I don't know their new schedule yet, because that was the other thing they were gonna do, was put out a new schedule, which hopefully will get reposted soon instead of the one that's up. Or that has been. Certainly, we've never talked about, plans such as, demolition, asbestos, those kinds of things. It would be something I would put on the agenda and have us have that as a focus in a particular meeting. And I would probably suggest the same for team discussions. But so,
So i.e., you
we
and I-
have a lot to discuss.
You and I are on the housing, so we should meet with Mary and whoever the other key members are. review their proposal, ask our questions, clarify our questions, and bring those findings to the group. For a larger discussion.
Well,
I
think-
don't,
think
I don't
really
think
is-
so. I think I think we need to discuss each team's proposal as a group and decide what questions we have as a group. And then
Okay,
you could do the liaison
And I
piece.
think it's
I
important.
like that.
Yeah,
Better, yeah.
that the liaisons, even in our discussion, can provide us with maybe additional information because they've been to the meetings. And that's way we'll learn initially, but in my opinion, I think when you prepare to talk about whatever team you want to, I think it's important that you review the brainstorming, the reconciliation, and then the one. And, I just think it's a good habit to have in terms of being fully aware, and I'm talking about the liaisons. I agree with John. I think we as a committee need to talk about the teams. My thought was, how do you talk about the simpler ones first or the bigger ones first? Does it matter? Because we need to do all of them. So, so I don't care if anyone has a suggestion what they'd like to start with. But, hopefully we could get several done in a meeting. Maybe even all of them, based on the fact that we have education, municipal, and open space, and those are pretty.
I think we could do it all in one meeting. I think we need. I think it's
But I think everybody,
appropriate that 6, if not all 7 of us are in that meeting. Like, I don't think it'd be appropriate to do it with 4 of us.
Right,
So my suggestion would be next meeting. That's
the goal,
the agenda.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, and then we also can have a meeting that talks about any of the plans that are a problem. Because the expectation is that everybody's read every plan there is. But on why I brought up housing with Mary was because it's like 140-page thing.
Right,
And
right.
it's like,
it's
I'm
a
not
lot
sure
of-
that everybody has to,
Yeah.
but I'm okay with it being set that way. But,
I think our goal may have to be to simplify it
right,
in a smaller chunk that includes everything that they're,
right.
yeah.
So as a liaison, and it's the same with some of the economic development pieces that are on site, they're lengthy too. So it's like, I know John's read one of them that was lengthy. And, but, whether you can come too as a liaison, or the expectation is that you would probably know that better than anybody. Am I wrong?
I like his idea where we have the discussion first, and then if we need to go to the teams for additional questions.
Yeah.
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 Which we
But in
can't
terms of
predict
the
now.
discussion as a full committee,
Mhm.
that's all I'm talking about. And to help us have that discussion. So, I don't know that you need to have 5. It's what legitimately you have for a question on the proposal.
Yeah, I think it's gonna vary. I think we can do it in one night because, I mean, I was remote for the last CDC, too many acronyms, and chamber meeting, so I might have misinterpreted things, but at the end, I felt it was like, we just want the recreation plan.
Right.
Like, I don't know, maybe I was wrong, but that's what I came away with it remotely, so.
Well, I think there was this piece, though, that the recreation would also give them an event center, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
That's what
but-
I came up
But
with.
I guess my point being that, like, those two are very similar. Like,
Right.
open water is, municipal is pretty straightforward, so. We should be able to knock it out in one meeting.
By the way, Andrew, when we were there at the open space and looking at that map you had an interest in for the bike trail
yes,
extension. we sort of had a disagreement in terms of, and Joe too, you and Joe were kind of on the same page, and I said, I'm out of sync with this, but I remembered that she had an arrow into the building from the vernal pool. And so I went back to ask her, and here's what she finally said to me. If there's 200 feet, if the building is torn down,
That's right.
if the building is torn down, there's 200 feet from the vernal pool and 200 feet. The developer doesn't have to come anywhere near them.
Okay,
And it wasn't the 150 that was talked about. The 150 would require a developer to go to conservation. It isn't necessarily a bad thing, you
Okay.
know, or a detail thing that would be required any more than what we're doing. But those were the two dimensions, so
so that's if the building comes down, if they raise it.
if only the building comes
Right,
down,
okay.
yeah, I wanted to. You know, that was what her arrow was suggesting, it became a different dimension if the building came down.
Okay.
To ignore them, for a developer to stay away from, you know,
Mhm.
from having to go at all.
So if, as long as they're 200 feet away from the pool,
Yeah.
then they can just move forward.
A developer
with all
could,
the-
with
all
a
the
new
appropriate-
building, but it would have to be a different dimension, and they may need to, or want to, or we may want them to, I don't know. And that's sort of,
That was the auditorium, right? Right there in the corner? I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
Okay. So if you kept the auditorium, it's
Well, no, it's
grandfathered.
actually the building behind the auditorium,
Okay,
which could be used if,
right, like a staging area.
well, for recreation or something,
Sure.
you know, in terms of all those little things. But I think the comment is that it may be too expensive to do that building with everything. I don't know. So that's one
Wouldn't
of the
shock me.
questions that I would ask. Yeah,
I think it's on the survey too, about demolishing everything,
right,
you know, working with some.
yeah,
Mhm.
or keeping, you know, the gym in or.
Or do nothing.
That's on the survey.
And all of that is ultimately
Yeah,
depends upon the
Yeah.
3 recommendations we make to the select board.
so there are lots of questions going like that. And, so, um,
Do we ha-
we attended the Recreation Commission. Well, let me just get us there.
Yeah.
So next meetings, I don't have a calendar in front of me. But I have a calendar. So, I think when we had the last meeting, it was suggested, and poor Kathy, I felt sorry for her too, in that, you know, she was trying to answer everybody's questions about conference rooms, and the planning board took, you know, one of the dates that the consultant had. That whole thing.
Well, our presentation's next week, right?
June
Yeah.
3rd
Yeah.
is that.
Six.
And then June 9th is what I think our next, I'm going on the second Monday. We've varied that because.
That's what I have.
To accommodate other people.
Yeah, I have June 9th.
You have June 9th, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's the second Monday of every month. So the other one will be the 14th of July.
So June 9th and then.
Just keep in mind, though, that the 15th we have.
Right. Well, it might be good to have it on the 14th.
What a
Yeah.
workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then August, we would go with the 11th. So, after that, we don't have access to this room, was my memory of, the conversation, because Capital will be taking the Mondays. So we're gonna have to change that, but we're gonna have to find a room at starting in September to finish through by January. You know, a Monday, or maybe we're gonna have to change the date, but I think
Mhm.
that was trying to include Joe, because that was pretty much the only Monday that was good for Joe, my recollection of when we had the discussion, which we didn't have until January. But anyway, those are the next meetings. So we want to say the next meetings are, June 9th, July 14th, did I remember that correctly?
Yep,
Yeah,
and August 11th.
and August 11th. Those are set meetings. We may need to do others if we need to stay current with the consultant. So, would we try for a different day of the week if we were to do that? Not that we're doing it now, but if we needed extra meetings, we just deal with it at the time?
I think deal with it at the time,
All right,
because we may not need those.
right,
We may be able to have the consultant participate in our already defined meetings.
yeah,
Can I just
So, I'm-
interject here? Sorry.
Sure.
Can I- yeah, there, with all the discussion about the meeting rooms, we do have a meeting room here at the DPW. Some of you may have been to our muster room, but we also have a meeting room that is very similar to room A here in our main administration offices. So should we get bumped from Capitol, we do have the opportunity to, or by any other,
September. Okay, that would be great. If we could
Right. Just
confirm that.
keep
the
that in
second-
mind.
Yeah, it's a nice room.
Yeah, could you find out if a second Monday in September, October, November, December, possibly January would be available so that we can get that settled? And I assume you have video in that conference room?
Yes.
I don't know, is it too soon for you to do something like that, Roby?
Too soon? No, I
Yeah.
can do it while I'm talking to you. You can continue on. I'll let you know whether or not it's available.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna come next to member questions and comments with taking a look at next meeting dates, possibility in September on. Does anyone want to bring anything up for at this particular time? And
Well, I think you brought up the idea of having those discussions. Let's begin those discussions,
in terms of
the teams.
teams
Yeah,
here now with four of
no,
us?
not at this moment, but on June 9th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna do team. I'm gonna make that part, the main part of the agenda.
Okay,
Unless something else crops up, but that will be the main thing of the will be
might-
our discussions as a group about all of the teams' reports. And hopefully we'll have a full committee, and I need to find that out in order to do it.
We won't have the survey. We won't have the results.
No, but we should be discussing the teams
Yeah,
in concurrent fashion
okay, yeah.
with what's going on.
We'll have it by the next one though in July, right? So.
The other thing, Roby, when you're available, everybody saw Roby's email about the meeting she went to with Kit's presentation?
I don't.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see
When
it?
did it come in? Today?
No, this was,
Oh, maybe I read it so fast.
well, I thought it was great.
So,
I thought it was,
Chair,
Yep.
I want to let you know that the DPW meeting room is available for September, October, and November. The only challenge is I'm not available in October. I'll be out of town, and I am your access to the building. So we may have to find another location for October, but
Okay.
September and November are no problem.
and how about December and January? Do you not know that so far ahead?
I can reserve it, and I'm in the process of reserving it, and I do not see a problem with reserving that room for those months as well.
Okay, so the second Monday in September is what day?
The second Sunday, the second
Monday.
the
Monday.
second Monday is September 8th, and that'll be
Okay.
at 74 Town Brook Road. October would be October 13th, and that you may need to find another room for. Like I say, I will not be here. I'm on vacation.
Okay,
That's Columbus Day. That's a holiday too, October 13th.
Oh, that's
It
a
is.
really good point. It is a holiday, so we may want to look at how we handle that, whether you want to
Right.
cancel or reschedule.
yeah, and November is the 10th,
November is the 10th, and that will be here at the DPW.
okay,
And then December would be the 8th, and that's here at the DPW.
yeah,
And then January 12th
Oh, I'm sorry, December you said, not September. December
yeah,
is
December
the 8th,
8th, right?
December is the 8th, yep.
and January
12th.
12th. And we need to figure that out, but you're gonna try to,
January is all set. I got you booked here.
Yeah.
okay. Thank you,
All of
Roby.
these meetings are at 5 o'clock. The room has been reserved.
Okay,
I'll even go so far as to book it out to February so that we're assured a room.
and February would be what?
5 o'clock's good.
That would be on February 9th.
Yeah, in 5 o'clock, is that gonna be all right with you
Works
guys?
for me.
John?
I can never promise 5 o'clock, but I.
No,
if you
I
wanna do it,
apologize.
can-
My
I
bad.
hate to do it for everybody else, but.
Nope,
uh,
nope, I
leave it up to
apologize.
you
I
guys.
had it, I said it wrong. It's 6 o'clock. My eyes were getting
Okay.
tired, sorry.
Got it.
Thank you, Roby. The other question I had was, I would love, oh, this is the, you can take a quick peek if you haven't seen that. I took pictures of your emails. And could you explain, where was the meeting held that had all these kids presenting their projects or?
Oh, I did see that email.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that was a civics day at the Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School. I went as an
I
observer.
saw the email.
Yeah,
You want to see it?
They were seeking representation from different organizations. We had members from the library. We had members from Rotary. We had a past hazardous waste specialist, Calliope Shoup was there, which was great to see her. Many other familiar faces wandering around the room. There were over 18 booths manned by 3 students at each location. The students varied in age. They were either freshmen, sophomore, juniors, or seniors, and each of them were extremely articulate about their subject matter and the studies that they had done. And I would say of the 18, I did not make it to all of them because I was only there for an hour, but I did go around, and a good percentage of them you saw. I don't know if anyone did get a chance to take a look at some of the photos I took of the groups and their presentations.
I did.
yeah, I don't know if John did.
Yep.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, really well done. I was really saddened that they didn't ask for anyone from the town of Yarmouth to come and talk. I did speak with our town engineer because one of the presentations was about Station Ave and the roadway. And when I got back to the office, she says, I told them I'd come and speak to them, but all the kids heard was, yeah, Yarmouth couldn't help us. So, yeah, it kind of hurt. It kind of hurt.
Yeah.
And so when I heard the students talking about a place to go and their presentations about they all want a place to go, they want to have something to do, they're looking for some place where they can all be together. And they really hit some of the high points that this committee's been hearing from a couple of groups, namely recreation, and I think in some cases economic development, in terms of having a sports facility of some kind. They were really, really vested in that topic. Now, whether they've been hearing this from adults or whether the teachers, I really can't say, but it was really interesting to hear their perspective. And every one of the groups that I spoke to said they would be more than happy to come and talk about it more, whether it was with this organization, with this group, or with somewhere else. So it seemed like a really vested group.
Good.
Roby, is there a way to have whoever organized that presentation kind of pile all the student ideas like into a short document for us to review as a committee?
I would not ask a teacher to do that at the end of May. I would be happy to reach out to the person who coordinated it with and invited me to be there and ask if maybe the students could compile those. I'd be happy to make that request.
Sure, that would be great.
So
And
before we go too far, part of the pictures that you showed had one goal was to attend a town hall meeting by speaking and providing the evidence we have gathered to further express interest and share our ideas. So I was thinking that it would be a nice thing for you, Roby, if you're able to attend the June 3rd the select board at June 3rd presentation. Whether we could maybe somehow include this as a question. If you're all set with us asking maybe a question about it, but having you speak about it, if so inclined, at the point that we're done ours, before we introduce the consultant, and this is just, I'm throwing out ideas, so please don't take it as definite, but to find out if they had seen it, and for you to talk about it in case they hadn't seen it. And find out whether they would be interested in doing their own meeting with this group. And if not, that we maybe have a representative or two come to one of our meetings. So again, in terms of public outreach, that might be a discussion. So I didn't know how you felt about any of that, whether you thought it was a good idea or not a good idea.
I think my thought process was presenting it to this committee. I would probably reach out to the teacher who organized it, and I'd probably ask that they relay the information about this committee being at the select board meeting on next week. And if any of those students want to show up, then that would be great. My premise with sending that out to this group was merely to let this group know that the students are definitely thinking about it.
Yeah.
I do think that the students are interested in presenting to someone. I'm just not sure that after looking at the amount of slides that this presentation is going to do, that I want to add to it. My mind was thinking this is going to be a lot. This might not be, this might extend the meeting a little bit. So I didn't want to put that out there to the select board level. I think that my thought process was just more to this group. So to answer your question, I wouldn't want to extend this presentation next week any more than it already is.
Okay.
That was just
And
my
also, yeah, I would also want to get a sense of all of the ideas before a presentation was made anyhow.
agreed.
Yeah. Do you know if they are aware of it, the select board?
No, I do not know if they are. I know I have not reached out yet. I
Is
will.
that something you would plan to do, or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right. So we'll leave it in your hands, but I thought it was a great email to get, and how they're interested, which is nice. My problem is, in some of their pictures, they've got Dennis Yarmouth, which is understandable because it's the Dennis Yarmouth Regional School District, but it's the Yarmouth folks that are talking about building something for Yarmouth folks. So that would be another question. That would be a good question for them. It would be an adult question, but I'm sure they can handle it. They sound as though they're pretty together. You said they were articulate as well, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for that information. Does anybody else have anything else, or should we get a?
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a?
Hungry. Yeah, oi. Boy. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for putting those